Theresa here from theresamonro.com, and I just wanted to touch base with you guys about how I infuse brand new decks if I have one that's coming in. And so the newest one that I have is the Art of Life deck, and so I have a official review up on this one, but there's different ways that I will go about creating a connection with the deck, or the imagery is a big thing for me, but as to like how I'll connect with the deck, because that's where the stories come in. But I just wanted to share with you some of the things that I do when it comes to the decks. It's funny, I'm distracted because they're showing me like the symbology. They're like, do a video on the symbology, but there's the creation symbol. So one of the things that I will specifically do is I'll take a brand new deck, and it doesn't matter if it's in the plastic or however. Sometimes I'll leave a brand new deck, but I don't know, I just want to open it as soon as I get it and connect with it. So I'll get it, I'll take it out of the box, I'll look at all the photos, and I'm like, I'm so excited, because having studied art, I love imagery and photographs and all of that. So I'll connect with the deck that way, or I'll get on here and film and do immediate like first reactions, first impressions, so that you guys see me when I'm seeing the images for the first time. And that can be really impactful when you're looking at a deck and you're connecting with each card and you're looking at all of the images for the first time. It doesn't matter if they're in order or not. I tend to like looking at them in order first, in the order that they came. This is just me, but just to share with you what I do. I will look at them in order and I'm like, oh wow, these are amazing. It's just like all this appreciation flows. And I usually have a pretty good idea of what I'm getting before I order them, because I go and Google what all the images look like. 9 times out of 10, somebody, like the editor's got like a proof of one image that has like most of the cards, so you get a good feel for whether or not you're going to like it. Or some of you may have a favorite Two of Cups card or a favorite Love Oracle card. You'll be like, that's how I choose my deck, is because I always love that Two of Cups card. And if I like the Two of Cups card, the rest of the deck is okay. But for those of you that are like that, that's okay. But how about, you know, like prep the deck? Because sometimes they'll feel like really clear to me, and so on their way I'll ask them to be, you know, cleansed with their energy. And then first time I'm like creating a relationship with them is going through each particular card. And then what I have, and I do this, I've done this with most of my decks, because I have about 200 decks right now, I think. So they talk a lot through the images again, but I have these grid claws that I've created, not claws, but cloths. It's napkins that have like the flower of life and the seed of life. So since those the basis of creation, I just tend to like to infuse them with that particular energy, and I'll place it in the center of the, it's just this napkin that's got the flower of life screen printed on it. Originally was created for crystal gridding and that sort of thing, but I just never ended up selling them, so I have like 50 of them hanging out. They weren't perfect, so I didn't feel really comfortable putting them out on the market. But again, if you want one and you don't care if it's imperfect, email me and I'll see about sending you one, because some of them, yeah, they're the flower of life ones are gold on white organic cotton, and then the seed of life ones are silver on white organic cotton. And so some of them are a little bit off center, because that particular screen printer worked on a circular type of situation, and so was having a hard time getting the prints lined up. Anyway, I ended up getting them for free because they were imperfect. But if you decide you want one, let me know and I'll sell you one for, you know, dirt cheap. So, because the napkins ended up costing me a little bit of money themselves, but the screen printing didn't. So if you decide you want one for gridding or for your, you know, put in your decks, let me know. So I just placed it in the center of the flower of life, and then what I specifically will ask then is that I will talk to the beings of light, and I'll say, you know, Archangels of Light, Archangel of Light, Father, Mother, God, I call upon you now to be present and to have there be, whenever I use these cards, me personally, for my strength and my connection to source to be strengthened and aligned and protected, and for the messages to come in like signs on billboards, meaning like very easy to read. And then I'll ask for the knowledge of my I Am Presence, which is your divine self. It's about 12 to 55 feet above your head, depending on, you know, your level of spiritual advancement. And I will ask for that knowledge to be infused into the cards. Sometimes if the cards are, say, like the Keepers of the Light deck by Kyle Gray, that particular one, I asked that each being of light that was represented in those cards to have their energy infused into that card. So it helped me to have a better feeling of what they felt like when they were around, to have a stronger connection to them when their card popped up. So like a Mother Mary card had her energy infused, so that when I show you the card, you're able to pick up on her energy. It was a little subtle thing that I've done when those cards have popped up. And also to be able to connect with them and have those particular messages. So I'm trying to think. So sometimes, like if it's an angel deck, say like Angel Answers, I will ask like the rays of light to be infused in the deck. It's really that easy. I'll just call on the rays of light and say, please infuse yourself into the deck and your angelic energy. Please be infused into this particular deck, and it will. Some of you will see like a spiraling down of light, and that's, you know, that's kind of what it is. You may see different colors around cards, or violet or gold around wording, or that sort of thing. So my Rumi Oracle, since that one talks about love, I have asked for the third ray of light, which is unconditional love, to be infused with that deck. Also, for Rumi, if he's got any particular messages on the other side, his higher self, to come through if there's extra messages about the deck there. So you can call on all kinds of things. If yeah, that's more or less how it'll work. They also want to talk about cleansing decks. If some of you feel like I personally, I only touch my decks. It's this weird thing where I'm like, nobody else's stuff, which is why I've usually I have one deck that was gifted to me that was used, and that one is a magical deck. That's the Goddess Oracle deck, and let me tell you, that one's powerful. Who read that before? So if you buy like a used deck, which is up to you if you feel connected to that, or if somebody has handled them, because they want to talk about two different things. You can also have them protected, so you know, other people's energy doesn't get on the cards. You can just set that intention when you pray about it to have the cards protected, because, you know, things pick up on the energy of things that they're around. And so you can ask for the energetic integrity of the cards to remain intact for your original intentions. When it comes to clearing them, you can also, some people knock the deck, some people will use incense around the deck, but an idea that they gave me is, I have this really big piece of selenite that is about this thick. It comes off in sheets, and when it's a really big piece, people are used to seeing like columns and little pieces flake off, but they have big pieces that are like that. And I will place the deck on top of the selenite sometimes if I feel like, okay, that's a deck that could, it's rare, but randomly I'll have that. Or here's a good one you might like. If you have a love deck that is, you know, like the romance cards or the Rumi cards, you can take them and place them near or on top of rose quartz, or if I have like really big rose quartz pieces, but if you have smaller rose quartz pieces, you can put the rose quartz on top and ask the crystals to infuse the cards with the energy of unconditional love, the card, and the energy of rose quartz. You can talk to the crystal and say, would you please infuse the cards with the energy of your essence. They're saying kunzite can do the same thing. You can also like spray rose water in the area before a love reading, or after a love reading, if you feel the need for that. What was the other thing they were mentioning? Some people will smudge them, smudge their cards. Yeah, I don't ever recommend putting them like actually in water unless you've got them, you know, laminated, but I don't know very many people that would put them actually in water. I don't know, to each their own. You know, I don't know that I would trust enough laminate to place cards in the water, but maybe they're showing me like if you've got a dolphin deck and maybe you do a 3-card draw on the water, like, and the dolphins are helping you. You can, they're stating here, there are certain decks, like dolphin and whale decks, you can ask the energy or the wisdom of the collective of dolphins and whales and cetacean? I can't remember that word. But they're not crustaceans, but that's what I always mix them up with. But I'm hearing somebody say the correct word, but that's what you can literally use them for and have them infused. Same with the fairies, same with the mermaids, have the mermaids, you know. There's the Tut universe cards. You can have those infused with the energy of the universe, the energy of, there's a specific abundance deck infused with abundance energy, so that whoever, you know, set the intention that whoever you do an abundance reading for with those cards has a blessing of abundance come into their life, of some windfall of money. Those kinds of intentions are really helpful. I think that's pretty much the most of what I'll do. And then I'll take a deck, and for the very first time, like, I particularly have a way of shuffling, and I just shuffle through them until I feel comfortable, and I give myself the first reading typically on the cards. That'll be the first thing, and that's how I'll kind of connect with them a little bit. Also, if there's a story behind the creation of the deck, that'll be something that I like to read up on. Trying to think. You can put them in the moonlight sometimes, along with your crystals. They're showing me a few minutes ago that some of you may have like rose quartz chips, and if you've got like a bowl of them, that may be your place of where you keep your love card readings, like your one deck. They're showing me this beat up romance deck where you've done a ton of readings, and that's just where you place them in the rose quartz. We'll do that, and you could take the whole bowl and put it in the moonlight so that it cleanses them. And they're showing me somebody uses holy water to like spray at the deck. You don't have to spray each individual card, but yeah, that selenite plate will be a really big one. I have this one particular deck that I've made myself that is handmade. It's not any particular fabulous graphic, but I will take it, and each card has a ray of light and angels and ascended masters that are associated with it, and I use it pretty randomly in readings, but sometimes as an add-on to let people know what ray of light they're working with currently, because you can be born of a certain ray. Like your soul, your human self could be born through a different ray, and then you're working through a different ray for whatever situation in your life, for your soul path. Those I will ask to be infused with the rays of light and the beings of light that they're associated with, so that the messages come through. And that's just, yeah, that's how I connect with them. And then I happen to have this one spray. I should probably get up and show you, but it's a 1-ounce spray that I have, and if you're interested in it, it's a cleansing and shielding one. And oh, this is a good idea to talk about these. So that's why they're saying the holy waters, because that's what these are auric sprays for the auric field, but they're energy sprays that are like holy water. They're unscented, infused with crystalline energy. And so what happens is, like, there's one for cleanse and shield, and so that one's from the first ray of light, which is blue, and it's all about cleansing the auric field and setting up protection. It's one that you could use for the cards. It's sort of like smudging, but without the smoke, without any scent at all. And when you spray these, it brings in the beings of light of those particular rays that you were working with, and those rays of light. The beings of light and the rays of light are immediately present when you spray them. So that's a good one for opening up and closing a session, is spraying that one and that away. Because sometimes when we give readings, you can get clogged with other people's energy and that sort of thing. That one helps clear it out and set the space, and use it for like yoga rooms and massage therapy and before healing sessions and for yourself, or but that's one that they wanted me to mention. There's another one for like love readings. There is there's two versions of this one. It's a love spray, and it's just a 1 ounce bottle. And so there's one that's unscented, but I will tell you, those that are sensitive, when they spray this love bottle, that's the third ray of light, which is pink, and it brings forth Shamuel and Charity, and you know, the Ascended Masters and that, and Mother God, and unconditional love, and all the different forms of love. When it's sprayed, you sometimes intuitively, because smell is a certain type of intuition, smell roses. Roses are associated with the third ray of light, which is all about heart opening and connects you with the feminine really strongly. It's the highest frequency rose on the planet, the Damascus rose specifically. So, which is why it's tied to like Saint Theresa, and there's different Saint Teresas, but the one that specifically went out and found a rose in winter, she was specifically tied to manifestation. She was called Little Flower. She's different from the other Saint Teresas. But what they're stating is you can spray this one just before a love reading and just after, and it just brings in those particular essences, and you can intend to have the person being read for to experience these rays of light and unconditional love and romantic love. There's also, and it's infused with rose quartz. Now, it doesn't come with rose quartz. It may eventually at some point come with a little piece of rose quartz, which would be a really nice addition. But currently I haven't found, at the time of filming, I'm looking for bags of little small crystals. But the point is, there's also one that is a rose water, a rose hydrosol, which it smells just like roses, but it's a light scent, and it's infused with rose quartz as well, and the third ray of light. So these are ones that I sell. If you don't see it on my website, please get in touch with me via my contact page, and I will see about sending them to you. Just let me know where you're at in the world, because if you're outside of the United States, then I'll need you to pay for shipping as well. But those are really great ones for opening and for use during sessions, and I have an abundant spray and all kinds of stuff. I'm really enjoying working with these sprays, but they have these ideas that come through, and I'm just like, okay, I'll play with it. So I hope that's helpful for like setting space for when you're going into a reading, and for also cleansing the cards and the first time you use them, because a little bit more about going into setting space is just asking, you know, it's just certain prayers that I will say. It's about, for the day or for a session, it can be up to like 30 minutes. Sometimes if I'm in a hurry, it's like 5 minutes to just say, you know, a prayer that connects me with, you know, the beings of light, my I am presence, align my heart line, do my own energy clearing, and then space clearing for where I'm at, and then to make sure that, you know, there's prayer of protection for the person being read, and then also for what it is that's happening for the duration of that space. So all of that, to me, I find to be, and more the protection is so that there's, to keep out any kind of outside influences or distraction. So I will say, okay, if there's any kind of sound or anything like that, to please make sure that it's something either I don't hear, or that it be a more quiet space. I'll ask them specifically for distractions. So like, if you're somebody who's telepathic or empathic, you can specifically ask to have any telepathic distractions to be kept to a minimum during the time of your reading unless it's an emergency. So, because some of you can keep track of your kids telepathically, and you may not need to hear something like, oh shoot, I forgot my math book, like, you know, if you're in the middle of doing readings and that sort of thing. But yeah, you can just ask for anything that you'd like. Because something else they really want me to talk about is setting up space for a reading, and this is setting up with beautiful flowers, crystals if you want, whatever it is. That the important thing is what you choose, is it's like a dedicated space for you wherever you are, and that could be outside where you just feel a place that is your own, that is a safe space to connect to source and open up more fully, because most people don't open up like that all day. We have practical lives. Like when I'm buying toilet paper, I'm not necessarily thinking about the energy of everybody around me. So yeah, so if you've opened your gift specifically for a reading session, also remember to close this session out so that, you know, you're a little bit more grounded and in your body. So, but yeah, I hope those things are helpful for you. I felt inspired to film that and get that put out for you. Yeah? All right. Sending you lots of love. Bye.